Grumpy Old Gays, 14th of May.
Hang on. Sorry.
Not going. Needs his coffee.
I need my coffee.
Grumpy Old Gays, 14th of May. Shopping.
Ha ha!
Hello. Happy birthday.
I know, right?
It's my 14th of May birthday. I know that we didn't make a big deal of that before, but you don't like a fuss, do you, to be fair?
No, just a simple cathedral job or something like that, just to celebrate.
You're confused. It's a bank job, not a cathedral job. There's more money in a bank to rob. You see, sadly, I knew as soon as we went down that path, you'd go.
So yes, 14th of May. It is my annual arrival date. I'm going with 35 today.
Okay.
Going with 35 in the right light and the right Botox,
and the right filters.
I can pass for 35 in a dark room.
In a dark room, you can.
In a low light. But,
in a dark room, I can pass for 20.
I thought we would talk. I know we've touched on it before, but we were doing our usual YouTube.
Let's go down a YouTube rabbit hole.
And there was an image of a credit card machine from the it would have been early 80s, actually.
Which was huge.
And it was huge. It was like the old BBC computers of the early 80s. It was absolutely. We're talking like typewriters were smaller. And I went, look at that. Let's click on that link. And it was from Thames TV talking about credit cards, increased use of credit cards and fraud.
And it got us to thinking,
wow,
they were the good old days.
But more than the credit card, we were going, look at the shops.
They were so damn busy.
Yeah.
And I remember that from being here. I mean, I worked in Marks and Spencer's in 1986 and 87 as a Saturday job. And it was busy, but that was the only place that on the high street that you could get certain things. And there was no, I mean, the young people find it funny. There was no internet. There was no internet shopping. There was
no buses to get you to another town.
But the only other way of shopping was catalogues.
Gratans.
So Grattan's, Kay's Catalogue. I was based in Worcester, so Kay's Catalogue was massive.
Dad, where's the catalogue? I want to do my Christmas shopping.
Littlewoods, Argos. They were all huge then. Yeah. And that was the only real other way.
And then you'd have somebody knocking at the door every Tuesday to get your weekly money. To get you, because if you weekly,
you could pay it weekly,
but to a rep like Avon that came round and so you buy a new VCR at £700, and then you'd pay like 50p a week for the next 74 years.
And just like that, the world has changed.
Yeah,
it feels just like that. The world has changed,
and it's been an evolution. But what we're being grumpy about is the state of shops now, and there's things that can be excused because of natural evolution.
Okay.
But there's things that drive us absolutely mad. And there's things that we, as old people, older generation, grumpy old gays.
Thank you. Thank you for getting there in the end.
Is that when you harbour back, and we had video evidence of it last night, which is great.
They were really good.
Was it so bad? There were bad things, there were good things. The bad things.
There was more queuing.
There was more queuing, but that's all we knew. So
there was no next day delivery.
There was no. Well, let's go back to the shops. So the shops, if you wanted to buy something, a shirt, a new 7-inch vinyl record, that is. If you wanted to buy, I don't know, a book, you wanted to buy your food,
socks.
You typically go into the town centre, city centre on a Saturday morning. Most people park, and as a family, you might dissolve out and meet back at 2:00 or whatever with all you.
Yeah, exactly. And it would be a morning out, wouldn't it, with the kids? Yeah.
And what we were realising watching this video short news intercept is that the amount of people that were physically in the shops.
It was so bloody crowded, and I don't miss that.
No, and it made me think. God, I forgot just how busy shops. Because you go into shops now, there's barely any staff.
Yep.
And there's barely any customers.
You see, I was saying we got into a discussion last night about self-checkouts again, and how I said, well, if you really want supermarkets to stop using self-checkouts and put more people on, you need a national campaign that on a Saturday, nobody uses self-checkouts. They'd soon bloody open them then. It would never happen. I don't think you could ever... You can't turn those kind of clocks back. You can't put those genies back in the bottle.
And I've just thought of something. In the 80s, the power of it... the power of the national campaign. I can remember there's an old bird on loose wing called Gloria Honeyford, and she used to be on radio too, and she was relaying a story about how appalled she was that she'd spent £100, and this is the 80s, like the equivalent of £1,000 now. She'd spent £100 on something, and they wouldn't give her a bag to put it in.
Oh, can you imagine these days?
And well, she wouldn't get a bag now. But at the time, they were trying to introduce it, and she was appalled by it. And she mentioned this in
I'm still appalled by it now.
2-minute segment between songs. And the entire nation, because they had like 20 million listeners, the entire nation got behind this and went, no, we won't shop with you then.
Yep.
And they all merged to another shop, which worked it. And suddenly that brand stopped charging people for carry bags. I know we've gone the other way now, but whilst we're talking about bags, Asda, you buy a 50p carrier bag for life. You buy a £1 one that's stitched, you know, that really canvassy kind of, not a bag for life.
Oh, isn't that incredible? No, they won't replace them, will they?
But they'll replace the cheap ones as many times as you want. But the ones that are supposed to last for longer,
annoying,
they won't replace them.
And can I say, Aldi, you have done yourself a massive disservice, because Aldi had quite good stitched bags, but they've changed them to plastic now, but still charging the same amount of money, and they've made them smaller.
About particularly Sainsbury's in the 70s was their bags were paper.
Well, you understand Sainsbury's because your dad worked at Sainsbury's for a long time, didn't he?
All his life, So when we go,
we did have paper bags.
We had paper bags, those really heavy duty paper bags that Primark now use.
And now, why can't everyone use those? Because
absolutely,
in fact, that would solve it all in one go, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So the whole shopping thing has now evolved into. I know that Amazon have been accused of killing the high street, or
well, if you look at it in those terms, they absolutely have.
Or have they just gone? All the things that we dislike about the shops. About it. You don't know your product. You haven't got any staff on.
You can't get it instantly.
Can't get it instantly. Have they just supplied that demand and gone? And everyone's gone.
Well, I think they have. I think that's the thing. Whether you agree with that or not,
the majority are
what's happened.
The majority, and I see the Amazon van coming down my street.
It's like an ice cream van.
And the amount of parcels. I mean, he's literally parks up outside my house.
Normally, they just chuck their van in the middle of the road just to.
He's doing at least 15 houses every single day. So people are using it. And now the groceries are on Amazon through Morrison's and Amazon Fresh. People are going, well, I don't need it. And the shops have kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit with some of these things.
You know how we were saying with the tills as well? I was saying, well, it's all to make money. And you went, no, so they can make more profit. That's what I mean. It's about them making more profit.
Yeah. And the people that go to the shops because that's their only interaction with a human being. And as we become more grumpy and more old...
I don't want to have an interaction with a human being.
He doesn't. But I quite like that whole...
Well, you're that annoying person that chit-chats and it takes twice as long through the till.
No, I'm going to be that annoying person that when I've retired, I'm going to go out at 7 o'clock on a Monday morning just for an idle drive. Just to annoy
all the school runs on. Do you know what? Good luck with retiring, because I'm not entirely sure we'll ever get to. That's a whole different episode. But I can still
go out for a drive at 7 o'clock in rush hour, and just slow everything up. I'll put a little pork pie hat on, and you'll have a rain.
If you're retired, you shouldn't go shopping at the weekend when people that are working need to go to the shops. Remember?
Well, that's logical, but we don't know what's going on in people's lives.
There are so many old people at the shops at the weekends. You know that they shouldn't be there. They should be doing it during the week.
Maybe.
The other thing we thought about.
What's your thing with shops? What drives you nuts with shops? Let's know.
In the comments, please, because we read comments out, so that's always fun when we've got a comments episode. The other thing that we noticed when the shops were really, really busy is how much shoplifting must there have been back then. Where although back in the day, if you saw a shoplifter, those security guards would actually go after them and grab them.
Yeah.
They would which they can't do these days.
Now they can't touch them.
Some woman ran into a lift in one of the big supermarkets in town a few weeks ago, and all of the siren things went off, and she yelled out of the lift going, "Oh, it's all right, they won't come after me."
Yeah. What have we turned into where the law-abiding people are now paying because the shops aren't going to pay for it out of the profits. It all gets passed on to us. We're paying for it.
It'd be lovely to think that, wouldn't it?
But isn't it so refreshing when you see those Facebook reels or TikTok reels of shoplifters being accosted by the most unassuming person who trips them up or whatever, and everyone hails it as a success.
True. I mean, I would always say be careful what you do, because you never know if they've got a knife.
Or strike a deal with them outside.
But equally, what a society that we live in, that you go, don't go and tackle anyone, they might have a knife.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously, is that where we're living?
We're not in America where
they might have a gun.
Might have a gun.
Yeah, true.
But we don't know what guns really look like in this country, because it's.
I do.
Well, yeah, I know what it looks like. And I'm looking at a plastic gun, water pistol that he's got in the.
So I know what a gun looks like.
Shops,
not a real one.
Shopping experience has vastly changed.
And of course, there's the other side, because of course I've been massively within shopping television for 25 years. Yeah. So that was the other thing that came alongside before online shopping. It was the stage between the catalogues and the catalogue shopping at home.
That was the first thing, wasn't it? Was the infomercials?
Infomercials
in
first.
America, the like 20-minute presentations,
and then QVC started in America.
Yeah,
and absolutely, and then it has trundled on from there.
Yeah, and I truly believe, if we're still here in another 40 years, going from the 80s to the 20s,
us personally,
we should be.
That's unlikely.
We might be. But in another 40 years,
this will
be on YouTube. Even when we're gone, this will be on YouTube. Shops might not exist even then.
Well, then there's
corner shops.
But then there's the whole other thing that Amazon's doing. You simply walk in, you scan, it knows who you are. Yeah. You just take the stuff off your shelf. It automatically charges your account. And you walk out with it. And
as much as I love shop assistants to be there, I like that. I've done Amazon Fresh in Euston, under the Euston Tower. And it is very eerie to just walk in and walk out, but
without paying.
They're not masking it up as anything. No. They're not advertising themselves with beautiful checkout assistants saying, "Come on in and we'll look after you in our supermarket."
Did shops ever advertise themselves with beautiful shop assistants?
Trust me, the shop assistants in the Tesco's adverts and Asda and
in the adverts,
they'll make it. Same as McDonald's make out the food is beautifully presented by a smiling person. You get the reality is very different.
That is very different.
But Amazon is just saying, we haven't got any staff. We've got maybe one staff on site. You can't come in unless you've got a QR code, and we will bill you for anything you pick up and take out. Yep. That's it. Job done.
Yeah.
Job done. So that's our thing on shops.
Yeah.
So we started to do birthdays in the last couple of episodes. So
as it's your birthday, I'll let you do birthday. Yeah. Who shares your birthday?
Well, the one that I've always grown up with and known since I was a kid when he was alive was Eric Morecambe.
Fair. Oh, I was never a big fan of Morecambe.
No, neither was I actually. But
two Ronnies, yes.
He was a celebrity that shared my birthday. So, and more recently,
yes,
children's tea from the 80s, admittedly, but more
40 years ago,
more recently than Eric Morecambe.
Yeah,
is Emma Forbes.
Oh, who used to do live and kicking? Yeah. With Andy Peters.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I've appeared with Ollie Murs on the Graham Norton show.
Okay. Did you get to talk to him?
I've appeared with him on the Graham Norton show.
That's a no.
After the show, I was ushered out very quickly. Before,
I bet you were.
Yeah. So
stalker.
Yeah. And Greg Davies. Now I'm in two.
From Taskmaster.
Yeah,
I love Greg.
I like him. I liked him in The Inbetweeners as an actor.
But you're not a big fan of Taskmaster, are you?
I'm not a great fan of Taskmaster. I like him in Taskmaster, but I don't, because I think he's extremely quick-witted
and very dry.
But I don't particularly like Taskmaster. I don't think I've given it much chance actually. Martine McCutcheon. This is my moment.
As it's your birthday, I'll let you get away with that.
Under a taxi. All right, how you doing, Martine? How's the stage show going?
Ow!
And Cate Blanchett.
Cate Blanchett.
Blanchett.
I think she pronounces it Blanchett.
Blanchett. So
there's who you share your birthday with, is it?
Well, they're the most famous people we could find. Fair. We could find in it. And also today.
Oh, this sounds like
pause for dramatic effect, like X Factor. It's actually National Chihuahua Appreciation Day.
Oh,
and we both own a crossbreed
Are they both
Chihuahua.
There?
Hugo, where's Hugo?
Hugo.
She's gone upstairs.
Probably.
But Margot's here with me.
Yeah.
She's crossed.
They're both half chihuahuas.
He's upstairs. He's upstairs.
Just jumped off the bed. Hugo, quick! Hugo, quick! Squirrels,
quick! Squirrels! Squirrels!
Come here! Look, here!
Oh, squirrels! Come on!
Quick!
I think you've seen.
Come on,
I
then.
think you've seen Hugo in the other videos. He's my boy.
Come on!
And so National Chihuahua. So if you've got a Chihuahua, appreciate them today, please. Just give them a pat on the head or something. Take them for a walk.
It's funny how dogs always increase our views as well.
Yeah.
Strange that.
Yeah. So that's it, really. Over and out from me. Have you got anything you want to say?
No, have a lovely birthday.
Okay.
Let's go celebrate. Let's go drink. And have cake and stuff.
Yes.
Let's go do that.
Yes, sin-free cake. Right, let's do that.
Or just ordinary cake.
Just not counting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Bye.